Hi everyone, I'm Selina Wallace, Public Involvement Manager for ARC North West Coast. And you'll be glad to know that public involvement is the first presentation on which you are going to be able to get involved in today's event. So please see on the screen a QR code for the Slido. So I'm going to ask a little bit later in the talk for you to take part in a poll. So I'll just give you a couple of seconds to get that up on your phone. I'm not planning interpretive dancing, Mark, no. Right, I'll come back to it when we get to the poll. I'll come back to it if you haven't managed to get it. I'll give you 10 more seconds. Okay. Nearly all the phones are down. Right, I'm going to move on to the next slide. So I want to start by saying that people, patients and communities have a right to be involved in all health and social care research. Public contributors improve research in practical ways. They help shape better questions, bring challenge, connect research more closely to communities, as Wayne said, and improve the chances that work leads to change that matters beyond academia. This is not just about representation, it is about the quality, relevance and usefulness of research. Today I want to give a brief overview of what public contributors have helped build in ARC North West Coast and what that means as we move into ARC Phase 2 and why that matters in a landscape where many organisations are now talking about engagement, partnership and inclusion. What ARC North West Coast has built is not just involvement activity, but a more embedded model of public leadership, challenge and contribution across research, governance and culture. Public contributors were there from the very beginning. They helped shape ARC North West Coast public involvement strategy. In fact, we co-designed that and influenced expectations for how researchers should work with communities. Over time, their role has extended right through governance, theme leadership, project development, inclusion work and outputs. This matters because it shows that lived experience was not treated as an add-on. It became part of the way that ARC worked. This slide gives a sense of scale. The contribution of the public was not small or symbolic. It involved substantial time, sustained participation, co-authorship, forums, events and inclusion work over all of the years of the ARC. The value here is not just the volume of activity, but the fact that this contribution was spread across everything that the ARC did. A lot of organisations now do some form of engagement, but what stands out in ARC North West Coast is the extent to which public contributors have helped shape everything that we do. The co-lead model, the forum structure, the buddy scheme, the seldom heard work and the contribution to outputs all point towards something more embedded than one-off consultation. One of the strongest parts of the ARC North West Coast model has been the way leadership and support developed together. There were formal roles such as theme co-leads and governance representatives, but also peer support through the forum and the buddy scheme. That combination helped contributors grow in confidence and helped ARC develop a stronger culture of accountability and shared learning. Inclusion in ARC North West Coast has involved more than a general commitment to diversity. Public contributors helped create structures that reach beyond the usual voices, particularly through seldom heard forums and community links. There's a poster that you can see of our social network analysis work, which can show those kind of links more clearly, looking at all the many VCSF organisations that public advisors are linked to, which shows that their knowledge and mobilisation extends well beyond their work in ARC. That work influenced safeguarding, recruitment and trauma-informed practice. In ARC Phase 2, inclusion is being taken forward as a dedicated work stream, so public involvement and inclusion need to be understood as connected but not identical. ARC Phase 2 is not starting from scratch. It is building on structures and learning from ARC 1 while making some exciting changes. Each theme now has their 2 public contributor champions in place. These roles are intended to support early research development, promote meaningful involvement, and link theme activity into governance. At the same time, the wider contributor communities, forums, and governance routes remain very important. If we are to build well on ARC Phase 1, we need to keep the strengths of the previous phase while making some things even better. We already have contributors involved in all ARC, PhDs, internships and research projects, but there are lots of areas to build on. Recognition matters, better evidence of contribution and impact matters, and in a crowded landscape, strong links between contributors, communities and partners organisations matter too. We wanted to use this session not just to describe what has happened, but to learn from colleagues, contributors and partners in the room and online. This question asks where people think the next priority should be if ARC Phase 2 is going to strengthen public contributor influence in a practical way. So please take part in the poll now. Give it a couple more seconds. Looks like stronger community reach and inclusion is staying at the top. Whichever comes out on top, the value of this is that it's going to give us a clearer sense of where people think the next phase should focus effort. And I think there's also a poll where you can put a personal comment in about what you think that we need to focus on. The public have not just taken part in ARC Northwest Coast, they have helped define it. Their insight improved research quality, their leadership strengthened governance, and their persistence expanded inclusion. ARC Phase 2 now has the chance with you all to build on that legacy. Please do come and see us on our stall in the lunch break to share any thoughts you have on how this should be done. If there is one message to leave with, it is that ARC Northwest Coast has built more than a set of involvement activities. It has built public leadership, challenge, learning and partnership across research and governance. And ARC Phase 2 now has an opportunity to carry that forward through clearer roles, stronger recognition, earlier involvement and deeper community connection. Thank you.